What's up, everybody? This is Donnie, aka Elevated, with another video on behalf of Dota Alchemy. And I hope that you are enjoying patch 7.22 as much as I am, because I think that the state of the game for Dota 2 is headed in a very fun and interesting direction right now. You probably have noticed that there seems to be a trend towards just power spikes for everybody. And not only that, but the games are going a bit longer than you're used to. And I think that trend is going to translate over to the professional scene as well. And that's why I think that TI9 is going to be the craziest TI in terms of Dota that we have ever seen. So why is that? Well, the first thing, of course, is that everybody now has an Aghanim Scepter. And that means that there are a lot of crazy possibilities as the game progresses. I think we're going to see a lot of Alchemist because of his ability to give Aghanims to people. We're going to see a lot of heroes that are good at taking Roshan being popular versus trolls, that kind of thing. TA especially, because Roshan now also gives Aghanim Scepter. So Scepters just give every single hero in the game a pretty interesting power spike. And a lot of the Scepters have been modified to the point where they're pretty good, aside from, I don't know, maybe like Lycan. I think Lycan probably has the worst Ags in the game. So the next thing I think that is going to make TI really crazy is that every single hero is now in Captain's mode. So we're going to see Techies, we're going to see Mars, we're going to see a lot of Io for sure. We're going to see a ton of different heroes, and I would be surprised if any of them don't get picked. If you looked at the Dota buff win rate, a lot of heroes are kind of equalizing, and so we're seeing a lot of these high win rate heroes come down a couple notches, and we're seeing a lot of these really low win rate heroes come up quite a bit. I think that we're going to see a huge diversity of heroes, and we're going to see a huge diversity of heroes played in core roles as well because of the Scepter change, because these games seem trending towards a longer, and that's going to allow some of these interesting heroes to potentially reach their potential. The next thing that is going to make these games a little bit more interesting is that denies are not as punishing. They've been nerfed in terms of their effectiveness for shutting down heroes a number of patches in a row, now granting 40% experience to the person being denied, which means that it's actually okay to have a pretty bad lane in some cases, because you can kind of just, do your best to get some experience, get some gold, soak a lot more than just being completely AFK. And if you were shut out of lane completely and just denied everything, then the game was basically over because one of the heroes didn't exist anymore. But now I think we might see some more tri-lanes coming back because it's not quite as punishing for the offlaner to be left solo. And that is going to allow a lot more diversity in terms of the heroes that are being picked and the lanes that they're being run in. Another change that really caught my eye is that killstreak bounties are really big. The base gold for a killstreak is 400. So, and it scales all the way up to 1800 gold. So comeback mechanics are coming back, as it were, and that means that we're going to see a lot of these games swinging from a massive gold lead for one team to a massive gold lead to the other team with one really good team fight. And so that's definitely going to show some prevalence in team fighting heroes. I think just in general, we're going to see team fighting becoming a very core part of a lot of pro team rosters. And that's exciting for the viewers. It's exciting for fans of Dota in general. Siege creeps have also been nerfed, and that means that game longer because towers die less, and siege creeps are a huge catalyst for towers taken, at least in the professional scene and even in pubs. In addition to that, towers have been buffed. They do more damage, they provide more armor, they're better spots for people to fight around, and that means that, generally speaking, the game is going to be prolonged because it's better to fight around your towers. Pushing in general has been nerfed straight up because you can no longer take catapults with the Helm of Dominator, and that means that a lot of these heroes that were able to kind of like cheese down a lane, grab a catapult, take a bunch of towers with like the 5-minute mark, 10-minute mark, are going to have a lot less success doing that. Roshan now has a Scepter added, and that means that we're going to see, like I said, a prevalence of Roshan taking heroes, but it's also going to allow the wealth to be spread quite a bit more. But I think that we're going to start seeing a lot of supports being given the Scepter, and that means that they're going to suddenly elevate themselves to core status in the game. Speaking of supports, ward cost has been significantly decreased, and this means that I think we're actually trending towards a place where we might start seeing 4 and 5 cores per team, essentially. We're still going to see, or a buyer. We're still going to see these traditional support heroes playing support, but as the game progresses, they're going to scale more and more and more towards being a core version of that hero. And that's really exciting because we're going to have these crazy late game fights where you have basically 5 cores on each side duking it out, and who knows who's going to be the strongest hero on the map at that point. To further that point of the wealth being spread and all heroes potentially having a core role in the game, there are now 2 tomes of knowledge, and that means you don't have to choose between your 4 role getting their key ultimate or their 5 role getting their, key ultimate either, or potentially even just allowing your off laner to come back after a hard lane, or mid laner who had a bad lane. I think as we approach the last minor and major of the season, it's going to be really interesting to watch the trends of some of these heroes that have been changed, and even some ones that weren't touched a lot in the patch, but just have been given maybe a little bit more opportunity to shine because of these games, because of things like the tomes, the shareable scepter bonuses, and that kind of stuff. I can't stress enough how important I think it is that we no longer have heroes that are sub 40% win rate in the game, and we don't have any heroes that are above 56% win rate either. That means that just the game in general is getting closer and closer to being fully balanced, and that might sound kind of weird to say because there's always going to be little exploits and ways to abuse the game because that's just what Dota is. But I think it's closing in on the point where it's not so much about what heroes' numbers are too high, but it's about how you employ the heroes that are in the game. That rewards creativity, coming up with some crazy strategies and that kind of stuff. So I'd really love to hear what your thoughts are on the best combos in the current meta and what heroes you've been experimenting with and you think are going to be really strong. And I just really love how it feels like it's not so much about the heroes and it's more about the pilot. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, and we will see you in another video very, very soon. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching the video. We genuinely appreciate your time and attention spent with us here on the YouTube channel.